how do F1 teams optimize their cars?
Adaptive launch control.
When these systems are put together, what do they address?
What is torque mapping?
Welcome back to TechTangents, your favorite STEM podcast. We are back with a special podcast on control theory and its role in Formula One. But today I'm here with a special guest.
Ashish Mukku. I'm the president of Engineering Society at AGSB, and if you're another enthusiast like me for F1, you're in the right place.
So, to kick us off, Pranav, what is control theory?
Essentially, control theory is the maths and engineering behind regulating dynamic systems.
And particularly in F1, it focuses on keeping systems stable, efficient, and accurate by continuously adjusting their behavior in response to changing environments.
And I assume some of these changes include temperature, pressure, motion or position, and force and torque.
That is absolutely correct. And in motorsport, especially in Formula One, control theory entered in around the 1980s through semi-automatic gearboxes and traction systems.
Now, if you're wondering what it consists of, essentially control theory consists of control system, consists of sensors that detect real-time data such as temperature, motion, force, etc. And then we have controllers that compare the real-time data with desired behaviors and values. Finally, there are actuators, which adjust inputs to bring the system closer to the target values.
And specifically in F1, control theory is used in sensing wheel spin, tire temperature, and torque delivery, and then adjusting clutch or engine behavior accordingly. Moreover, control theory is deeply embedded in F1's subsystems today. It's used in launch control, even though fully automated launch control was banned in 2004. Current systems use predictive torque mapping, which is
a technique where the car uses past data and real-time sensors input to predict how much engine force should precisely be delivered to the wheels for the best possible start. And another use is brake-by-wire systems, I believe, where control theory helps manage how the car slows down.
yes, instead of the driver directly controlling the brakes, the system decides how much braking should come from the regenerative braking, which recovers energy, and how much from hydraulic brakes, the regular ones.
Yeah, and speaking of recovering energy, it is used in the energy recovery system, also known as ERS, to decide when and how stored energy should be used during a race.
The system collects energy from braking or heat, then uses control theory to manage its release at the right moments, like during accelerating or overtaking.
Wait, that's a lot of information. So, in summary, when these systems are all put together, they address firstly minimizing wheel spin and launch, and then adapting to varying grip levels, and then maintaining consistent lap performance and reducing driver workload during high pressure scenarios, all whilst being able to save energy, right?
Yeah, and so now let's look forward a bit and talk about some of the future implications of control theory.
Firstly, I believe there will be a transition from reactive to predictive control systems. Historically, control systems in Formula One relied on feedback loops, responding to fixed parameters like tire grip levels. These modern systems are increasingly data-driven, using machine learning to predict and adapt to dynamic conditions. These predictive systems analyze vast data sets, telemetry, weather, track conditions, you name it. And it's all used to optimize performance.
I agree. And for instance, I believe a 2024 motorsport.com article I was reading earlier highlighted how teams are integrating AI to refine energy development strategies for hybrid power units. I believe that will somewhat ensure optimal use of energy recovery systems, or as Rowan said, ERS, during races.
And integration of machine learning can be used in many other aspects. Any idea where?
So moving ahead from traditional linear feedback loops, we also have a more complex model and non-linear relationships.
That's true, and machine learning based control systems in F1 can personalize responses based on the driver's behavior, and they can adapt to different strategies across, for example, a race weekend as conditions like track temperature or perhaps tire degradation evolve. These systems can self-train from historical data, so let's say data from a previous race or the weekend before, and even real-time inputs, literally in data that is taking in the moment. This will all enable dynamic adjustments that current traditional systems cannot match or even offer.
That seems very interesting, but what about the development of adaptive launch control in the future? I believe one of the most promising developments will be in adaptive launch control.
I agree. I believe it will move beyond static torque maps to integrate real-time data. By leveraging reinforcement learning trained on thousands of simulated and real-world launches, these systems can dynamically adjust torque delivery milliseconds before the start without requiring intensive amounts of data input. And this ensures further optimal acceleration tailored to specific circuits and more precise conditions like weather or temperature.
Another area where control theory is likely to play a bigger role is in real-time tire wear prediction. By integrating thermal models and wear indicators with sensor data, teams can dynamically adjust race strategy, such as like when or how to pit and how aggressively to push on those tires. That's all based on evolving tire conditions.
That's a good point, and extending on that, we might also see weather adaptive systems where control theory works with predictive weather models. So instead of reacting to a sudden rain shower, the car could just pre-adjust settings like brake bias or power delivery in anticipation of changing grip levels.
That's where multi-agent systems come in, where multiple car systems communicate with each other in real time to self-optimize. For example, engine recovery systems, like we talked about earlier, braking and tire management systems, are all working together instead of in isolation, and that can lead to smarter and more efficient racecraft.
It also opens up possibilities for driver-specific tuning. Imagine systems learning each driver's unique inputs or perhaps patterns in their unique driving styles.
Yeah, I like that idea, and I think there's room for more predictive safety measures too. Systems that analyze telemetry, G-forces, and historical data in real time to predict high-risk maneuvers or failure points before they happen. That could possibly alert the driver or adjust vehicle dynamics subtly.
Exactly. And that predictive capability could even inform adaptive race strategies. Control theory algorithms could suggest alternative race strategies mid-race, like switching from a two-stop to a one-stop strategy based on current pace, tire degradation, and strategies of nearby cars or the competitors.
Yeah, and another exciting frontier could be in-lap optimization systems. These would help drivers maximize performance, specifically during critical laps, like in laps before a pit stop or a quali lap, by dynamically adjusting parameters such as ERS deployment, brake balance, and throttle mapping to shave off tenths of a second exactly where they matter most.
That's brilliant, especially since small margins matter so much in F1. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone listening already knows about it. And building on that, imagine track condition mapping done in real time across multiple cars, like every single car on the racetrack. Isn't that sick? If one car slides in sector 2 due to debris or oil, that data can be fed into another car's control systems instantly in real time, adjusting their behavior even before the driver reaches that sector. Wait, doesn't that mean that if you're behind a car, that gives you an advantage?
Yeah, I guess, which is kind of weird. And this also ties into system level data integration. Rather than each car running isolated control models, we could see shared learning between teammates. So if car A learns a better torque curve or a brake profile during qualifying, car B can immediately benefit from that during the O run, creating a shared intelligence loop. The F1 teams aren't just about mechanical performance, but data. Data becomes what's really important.
Who knew this much science is behind Formula One? And this also seems like a nice spot to wrap things up for today. I'm pretty sure the audience has had enough. So, in conclusion, the future of control theory in Formula One lies in predictive intelligence driven systems that anticipate real time and precise changes.
And these advantages, driven by machine learning, are not only revolutionizing motorsport, but also paving the way for breakthroughs in automotive engineering aerospace, robotics, and beyond.
Well, it was a pleasure to have you here today, Ashish. I hope you all enjoyed this podcast. And if you have any questions, please just leave a comment down below and we'll answer your question as soon as possible.
So make sure to like, share, subscribe, share, comment, like, and follow, and all that across all our platforms. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.